Hey, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Just thought I would do another video. This one a little bit more specific in the kitchen, dealing with some stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about shakes and stuff like that. Some of the things I put in, some of the things that I leave out for whatever reasons. We'll probably go through some of the nutritional values of some of the things, and pretty excited about this one. So hopefully you guys get a lot of value out of this. Always a little bit of a disclaimer. Follow your doctor's orders, because I am not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist or a dietitian or anything like that. These are just things that I've found work for me when I'm going through a flare-up. We're talking about colitis, Crohn's, IBS. Could result to a bunch of different things as well, a bunch of other different things. So we're just talking about being healthy. So one of the things I want to talk about in being healthy is shakes. So we'll kind of go through some of the things. I'll take you guys over to the ingredients back behind me here, and we'll talk about it. All right, everyone, back here. Just thought we'd step on over to the ingredients and the kitchen side of things. I'll kind of go through some of the things that I do, some of the things that I use in my shakes, obviously for a host of different reasons, but thought I'd go through it with you guys, and you can kind of decipher what you like or what you don't like. These are some of the things that helped me 6 years ago, getting out of a massive flare that I was going through. It was massive. Like I had been sick for 6 months. I wasn't working. I couldn't even barely leave the house. I was constantly in the bathroom. So I started doing a bunch of different things. I started doing a lot of research, reading a lot about it. I learned a lot about, some of the different nutritional values of things and all that kind of stuff. Now, 6 years later, I've kind of forgotten some of that kind of stuff, but I've stepped back up my game, looking into a lot of this stuff, reading up on it again. Still a little bit ways to go. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and those kind of things, but wanted to go through all this stuff with what I'm doing, because obviously the flares just started a couple weeks ago. I wanted to give you guys some pointers, maybe some things that you might want to do or add to your diet or add to your shake, to see some of the benefits, and hopefully they'll work for you like they're working for me. Awesome. So first thing I'm going to go through ginger. Ginger is one of the key ingredients. I use it for almost everything. I juice with it. I put it in my shakes. I'll cook with it a lot of times. But I love ginger. It's got a great flavor. I find that ginger, some people are really, they find it a little spicy, if you want to say. I don't at all. I could pretty much put this whole thing in my shake and not find it spicy at all. But generally, when I'm making my shake, I'll use about a thumb size. So I'll probably cut this in half, skin it, and then chop it up, put it in my magic bullet, and that'll be about the size or the amount of ginger that I want. So some of the benefits of ginger are, it's an anti-inflammatory. So one of the benefits that I've noticed personally, though, it's because I played a lot of sports. I played basketball, hockey, baseball, like you name it. I played a lot of sports. So one of the things I noticed is that as I started taking ginger, especially years ago, I was getting a bit of arthritis as I was getting older, right? Like my knuckles were getting stiff, especially in the winter. And I just started taking the ginger, and I noticed it would go away. So the anti-inflammatory effect really started taking effect. It's also great for your gut, right? Helps things slide through your system. There's a host of other benefits, but definitely if you're not using ginger, I'd highly recommend it. Something I use on a regular basis. Like to use, and it doesn't matter the brand, but I like to use coconut milk or almond milk, because dairy is really hard on your system. Whether it's cheese or milk and stuff like that. So I stay away from the dairy pretty much almost 100%. I might have like a small piece of pizza if I'm cheating, but I stay away from the dairy. So I'll use things like coconut milk or almond milk, especially in my shakes. Obviously, it's not a dairy product and it doesn't hurt me. The other thing I'll use is some sort of non-fat Greek yogurt, unsweetened, obviously, because you don't want the sugar in it and all that kind of stuff. Because one of the things that's happening in your system right now is that your body, the gut flora that you have in your stomach and in your intestines and stuff like that, it's feeding off sugar. So it's feeding all the bad bacteria that's going on inside you is multiplying at a faster rate than the good bacteria. So we want to feed the good bacteria, and something like a Greek yogurt will help do that. One of the other things I'll do, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it from there, but I use something called Psyllium Husk. Basically, it's a supplement over Metamucil. The reason why I put this in my shake, and I'll use maybe about a half a spoon depending on the size of shake I make, but what it does is how Metamucil, if you take Imodium with Metamucil, it helps you have semi-regular bowel movements, so you're not going to the bathroom every 30 minutes or an hour. It depends on how bad it is for you. There's been times I'm like going every 30 minutes. But I use the Psyllium Husk with the Imodium. Just helps me have more regular bowel movements. This way I'm not running to the bathroom. It's not always an emergency. Don't get me wrong, there's still emergencies, but it's definitely not as bad. So definitely one of the reasons why I use this. I use something, and it doesn't matter the brand. I'm sure you could pick a whole host of different ones, but I use something called L-Glutamine. I usually just put about a spoon in it. So one of the things I do with L-Glutamine is I will have a shot of this in the morning and a shot of this in the evening before bed. So I will just take a spoon, put it in a cup of water and stir it, and then I just take it like a shot. So maybe a cup, maybe about that much water, and take it. And then the next thing I do is I'll add it to my shake as well, right? Because L-Glutamine it's like an amino acid. So a lot of people who work out and are fairly physically active, they'll use this because what it does is as you're working out, it helps to rebuild the tissues and the muscles that you're tearing, right? So one of the thought processes I had when I was younger, when I was going through a major flare was that, you know what? If it can do that for your muscles, surely it can do that for your insides and stuff like that, your intestines and those kind of things. So I decided, you know what, let me do this. And it was probably one of the contributing factors that helped me get better and healthy. So L-Glutamine. The other thing I will do is I will use something called Chia Seeds. The Chia Seeds, it's a little bit of a reverse effect of the Imodium and the Psyllium Husk, but the reason why I like it is because it helps things slide through your system, right? So it's going to take some of the bad stuff out of your system, you know, some of the bowel stuff that you don't really want in there, even some of the bad bacteria and stuff like that. But I just use maybe about a half a spoon of that as well. Cinnamon, I like cinnamon. There's a few hosts to cinnamon, a few benefits to cinnamon, but I like it more for the flavor than anything. I know it doesn't bug my system at all. It doesn't bug my stomach or anything like that. So I'll use the ginger the cinnamon with that, and I find it just adds a little bit of flavor to my shake. I'll use cocoa powder, right? So I'm a chocolate guy, so I mean, you can use vanilla protein powder and then use a few different types of berries and bananas and those kind of things to flavor it, with the ginger and some of the other things. I like chocolate. This kind of gives me my chocolate fix. I'm not craving chocolate bars and junk food and stuff like that when I do this. So I usually add about a spoon of that in there. Just kind of gives me, even with a protein powder that's chocolate, I'll usually just add that just because I like it a little bit more chocolatey. Or you could just go with however the protein powder tastes if it's a chocolate one. So, it has something called L-Arginine in it as well. So it just kind of helps blood flow. Now, obviously, you got to be careful with that. So you don't want a lot of blood flow when you're flaring up because you're obviously bleeding a lot, right? And when you're bleeding a lot, that's going to be a major issue. So I'm really careful with this. Sometimes I'll stay away from it if I'm in a major flare. And then when the flare is kind of, subsiding a little bit, then I'll start adding this a little bit. And then it doesn't matter the protein powder. I like to use a non-soy or whey protein, so something a little bit more organic or vegan or something like that. So it doesn't matter. I like a chocolate one. There's a lot of different brands out there. Maybe I'll put a list of some of them in the comments and stuff. But I find if you use a little bit of protein powder, it's just also because protein will help you build your muscles and stuff like that, right? You also want something to help fill you up. There's obviously a few other benefits to protein as well. I'll use some sort of veggie greens. I usually just put it's a little tiny scoop, but I usually just put a little half a scoop of this in there. A lot of benefits to the veggie protein or veggie greens and stuff like that, so I'll do that. And then depending on how I'm feeling, I'll use a little bit of an avocado. I find the avocado thickens up quite a bit, so we're not going to use it today. I did it this morning for my shake, but I'll use a little bit of avocado. I just find there's obviously a host of benefits to avocado as well, right? And the good fats and the fiber that it has, you're definitely going to benefit from having a little bit of avocado. One of the things I'll also do, and I didn't pull out a banana, I forgot to, but we'll get it ready for the next set. But I'll use a banana a lot of times, even just a half a banana, depending on how big my cup is, because putting a lot of this stuff in, it fills up pretty quickly. But I'll use a banana as well, right? So putting a banana in there, it just adds a little bit of flavor, but you're getting the potassium, although you're going to get it also from the avocado and stuff. But just getting that potassium in there, and I like bananas because, like I said, they just taste great to me. So hopefully that's you guys like that list. But you know what? We'll kind of go through the next half of it in a second here, because I'm going to go through some of the fruits I use as well, and we'll see you in a second. Hey, so back to this. I got the banana and the berries out. So generally I use a banana, like I said, the potassium. Don't use a lot of strawberries. I find them very acidic. They can hurt your stomach. So sometimes I might just put one strawberry. If I have fresh ones, I'll put a strawberry in there and just kind of add flavor, or a small frozen strawberry. I love blueberries though, because they're definitely healthy, and there's a host of benefits to all these things. Banana again, and then sometimes I'll put a few raspberries in there. Like I said, a lot of this just to add flavor. We're doing a mega mix today, so if you like certain flavors and you like certain, different types of takes on your shake, you can do it like that. Because I'm trying to get as much nutrients as I can with this, I usually just throw a bunch of different things in there. The taste doesn't bother me. I find it tastes pretty good anyways. Today this is going to be absolutely jam-packed, but thought I would throw this in there as well. So and we'll do that. One of the things I didn't really talk about right now is we didn't really go through the probiotics and stuff. So we're taking the yogurt and stuff as well. But I like to use an actual probiotic. Generally I'll take, these are 50 billion pills anyway. So they're 50 billion per pill. So generally I'll take 2 of these in the morning. If I really find that I need it and my stomach's really bugging me a lot, I might take a second set in the evening. Maybe it depends on how bad I'm bleeding. They say you're not supposed to take it when you're bleeding a lot. So I'll just take usually 2 in the morning with my shake. Like I said, we're just trying to rebuild that gut flora. Find it super important. You're going to get a lot of benefits from it. The faster you can rebuild that, the faster your health is going to start to come back, right? This is another thing. I don't know a lot about it because I can't remember. Did a lot of the research, like I said, about 6 years ago, but I thought it was important. I got a video out there. I will probably add some more stuff, information to the video. But this is something called colostrum. I do remember my nutritionist. This is one thing that I wasn't doing before I went and saw my nutritionist or my naturopath, and she added this to my intake of what I was doing. She said it would help a ton. I know there's a few other things like bone broth going on out there. This is a little bit new to me. I didn't know anything about that 6-7 years ago, especially well before that when I got this in 1999, early 2000. So something I might be adding to that, I'm doing a little bit of research on that right now, is obviously I won't add it to the shake, but it may be something I add to, my diet at some point throughout a days. Maybe do a little bit of bone broth. I've been hearing or been seeing some YouTube videos, been reading some good things on it. But I add the colostrum. Like I said, I'll see if I can find some information and plug it in for you guys. But hopefully you guys can see it. And there's obviously some good brands out there, some bad brands. I don't really know a lot of it. I saw one of the ladies talking about this one, so I bought it. So I thought it'd be good. So if I'm referencing you, thank you. Like I said, there is a host of things you can do when making your shake. And the main thing is that you want to do is you want to get healthy ingredients to help heal your body. That is the absolute key, right? We are trying to heal our guts and get back to normal as quickly as possible so we can go on with our lives and not sit there and let this thing completely take us down. So I'm going to start building the shake. I'll set the camera up a little differently so you guys can see it, but yeah, awesome. Awesome, so we're going to start adding the ingredients. Generally, one of the first things I do is I add the fruit. So just going to dump all of that in there. As you can see, it's going to be a pretty hearty shake, but you're going to see a lot of the benefits from it. I'll add the ginger. I chopped it up a little bit. Just find it that way I don't have to blend it quite as long. It takes me an extra second to chop it up anyways. I got to peel it anyways, right? So next thing I'll do is I'll add a little bit of the yogurt. Like I said, generally, I don't know, I add about a heaping spoon. Okay, we add that. Next thing I'll do is I will add the coconut milk. Generally, I will fill it up so that it's, as you can see, maybe about 2/3 full, because we have a few other ingredients to obviously add. So that's one of the things I will do. So the next thing I'll add is usually the L-Glutamine. Like I said, I like to add the cinnamon. I'll add the Psyllium Husk. Like I said, works great. Especially, I mean, you don't want to do too much of this kind of stuff, especially with the modem, because it probably would constipate you. And when your gut's already hurting, you definitely don't want that. But I'll add a little bit of the Psyllium Husk here. Again, chia seeds, I just like them because there is a host of nutritional benefits to them as well, but I find they help things slide a little bit through. So once you get formed stool, this will help the stool slide through. Okay. Again, a little bit of the cocoa powder because I like it chocolatey. Last thing I'll add, like I said, usually what I'll do is I will add like a half a scoop, right, of veggie greens. I just like it because obviously there's a lot of nutritional benefits in the veggie greens. And then the protein powder. That's about 1 scoop from the scooper. Then I'll put the lid on. Now, if I'm adding an avocado, which sometimes I do, I don't like to add a half of avocado. I find it really thickens this up, and then it becomes a little bit unmanageable, a little bit thick. But you know, sometimes I'll add a quarter of an avocado, just a little bit of flavor. But I just find I like the benefits to it. And then next thing you know, we blend it. Like I said, I'll blend it for about 30 seconds and you know, that way everything gets chopped up. I don't have to worry about any chunks. Some people like chunks. If you like chunks, you don't have to blend it as long, but especially with the ginger, I just like it all blended up and stuff like that. And then this is kind of what I'll be drinking. So that's kind of the shake right there. And it's really chocolatey. So like I said, I get my chocolate fix. Don't feel like I need any junk food or chocolate. And then that's kind of what I'll do right there. So everyone, that's kind of what I do for my shakes. Like I said, I like to put as much nutrients in it as possible. Sometimes I'll mix it up. Sometimes I'll even use like an organic peanut butter, more of a natural peanut butter, not the salted and like the Kraft peanut butters and stuff like that. I won't use those. But if I like it a little bit chocolatey and peanut buttery, sometimes it's want a little bit of a fix. But again, I use very little and stuff like that. Sometimes it's just a little bit more for flavor, but you can do anything you want with a shake. So if there's specific recipes you want, this was a chocolate shake for me. You can use vanilla protein and do like berries and little things like that, you know, blueberries, maybe a little bit of blackberries. Got to be careful with the berries though, because I find they're a little bit acidic and the seeds can sometimes hurt your stomach. But again, there's a lot of benefits to them as well. So if you guys are going to drink a shake for your morning to start, I find it's a great way. I'll drink this, like I said, and I'll take a couple of my supplements with it, and it's a great start to my day. So hopefully you guys see some value out of this. If you guys did, appreciate it if you hit the like button, maybe started to subscribe and stuff like that. I'm going to be posting a lot of other videos, and I'm really excited about it because, you know, I'm going through a little flare. And I want to see how quickly I can conquer it, right? So it's been going on for a couple of weeks. And I know it actually started a little bit before that. But you know what? Let's see if we can slaughter this thing right off the hop and so it's not really like taking over my life. Okay? So cheers, guys. Hopefully you guys have a fabulous week. And we'll talk to you again soon with one of the next videos. Thanks.